also be able to meet needs of your business goals, right? As an organization, you have certain goals, right, that you set for yourselves that you want to meet. So product strategy must also be able to meet that, right? And also product strategy must be able to create key features and differentiators for your business, right? Something that makes you unique and different from every other person who is doing a similar business, right? What is the reason why people would use you? I would stay with you, right? Product strategy has to touch on all of these things. So let's go further. What are the three quadrants of product strategy? And I promise you, these are words that you hear all the time, right? These are the three quadrants of product strategy: vision, mission, and strategy. That is the way it works, right? Your vision dovetails into your mission, and your mission dovetails into your strategy. And all of this, right? All of these quadrants come before the tactical product activities that we do, right? Even the tactical activities that you use to support your business, right? On the day-to-day, right? The operational activities, right? This, right, is what gives guidance, gives direction, right, to those operational activities. So my advice for every startup entrepreneur here today, or every product enthusiast, is that while you're trying to manage your business, right, as much as you're paying attention to the day-to-day activities, also ensure that you're paying attention to these quadrants, because they are equally, if not even more important. So let's take a deep dive, try to understand what these three quadrants really mean. The vision is an articulation of your future states, right? What do you want to become as an organization, right? Or for a product, right? What do you want this product to become? And I'll give us examples in the future slides, right? What do you want to become? Where is this product going to? Where is this business going to, right? And it serves as some sort of anchor, right, for you to focus on, right? So you know, okay, this is where I'm going to, right? This is where I'm going to. So what do I need to do to get there, right? So the vision helps you to capture where you want to go to, right? And you begin to ask yourself questions like, oh, what are our hopes and dreams? Right? What problems are we trying to solve for the greater good? Right? Of course, the vision shouldn't be about just yourself or just the business alone, right? It should be something that focuses on solving real life problems for millions of people one way or the other, right? And also, who and what are we trying to inspire with this change, right? Inspire to change, right? So these are the types of questions that you begin to ask yourself, right, when thinking about the vision, right? Now, the vision is an all-encompassing strategic statement, right, of your business. That is the vision. Let's look at the mission. The mission, right, defines, now this is a bit more specific, defines the company's, the business, its objectives, and its approach to reach those objectives. So your vision has told you, oh, this is what we want to become. Your mission now is speaking about the approach you want to take to become what you said you want to become, right? And it takes into consideration what the organization will do today and do in the future to get itself to that promised land, right? And you begin to ask yourself questions like, what do we do, right? Who do we serve? And how do we serve them, right? So this is beginning to speak about the specifics, right? I mean, the vision is remember, an all-encompassing statement, right? But the mission begins to break it down into more detail, right? Now, let's take a look at, okay, so what do you take into consideration when you're trying to craft a good vision and mission statement? And we're still going to strategy, right? But these are precursors before we get to strategy, right? Now, your vision and your mission must be ambitious. It must be something that keeps you up at night, something that makes you get out of your bed every morning, right? It has to be something ambitious, right? It has to be inspiring. Whenever you read it or whenever anybody reads it, right, they have to be inspired by this vision, by this mission. It has to be unique to you. It has to be different. Your vision cannot be the same thing as someone else's, right? And it has to be enduring. It has to be enduring, right? Because the world we live in today, there will always be obstacles, right? So the vision, the mission statement has to be enduring. It has to be clear, right? Anybody who reads it should be able to understand what your organization or what the product is about. And it has to be precise, right? It has to be precise. I shouldn't read your vision or mission statement and then get confused, right? by the time I'm done, right? So that precision is very, very important, very, very important. So let's take a look at two case studies very, very quickly, right? Now, this is Tesla. You can see their mission, you can see their vision, and you can see why it works. Tesla's mission is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, right? Now, tell me, when you read this, right, how motivated do you become, right? Now, Tesla is speaking about the world. They're not speaking about Texas, right? They're not speaking about the US alone, right? They're speaking about the world, right? This is ambitious. This is inspiring, right? This is what a mission should be like, right? Your vision and Tesla's vision is to create the most compelling car company of the 21st century, right? By driving the world's transition to electric vehicles. Now they are beginning to speak about how it will be done, right? This is how we'll get it done, right? We are creating the most compelling car company of the 21st century, right? And that way, with that, we're driving the world's transition to electric vehicles, right? You can see it ties into the statement above that says world's transition to sustainable energy, right? Transition to electric vehicles is some sort of sustainable energy, right? And you can see that they are linked, right? And the reason why it works is because Accelerate defines the driving force behind what they do, right? Accelerate is the driving force. There has to be a statement of drive in your vision, in your mission, right? And it paints a bold picture of what the company desires to become, right? So I think there is a mix there. So the first is the vision, which is to accelerate the world's transition, right? And then you have the mission below it. Now let's look at Coinbase. To create an open financial system for the world, right? Again, they're speaking about the world, right? They're not speaking about one state in the US, or they're not speaking about one locality in one country. They're speaking about the world, right? And how are they going to do it? Digital currency would bring about more innovation, efficiency, and equality of opportunity in the world, right? Now they're beginning to speak about how, right? And they're doing it through digital currency. They are creating an open financial system for the world through digital currency. So you can see the link. And the reason why it works is because they want to be an open source for financial systems, right? They made it clear, right? They are basically decentralizing everything, right? And the vision talks about the change, right, that they're trying to cause. You can see it's very, very inspiring, right? And it's very, very ambitious, right? And in the statement below, they began to break it down, right? Oh, this is how we're going to do what we've said we'll do above, right? So if you run a business or you have a product, right, and you don't have your vision mission statements, right, then you would need to get that done, because your product strategy will not be effective without a clear vision and mission statement. And that's the reason why we spent the last 5 minutes breaking that down. Now let's move into strategy, which is what we are going to be dealing with today. A product strategy draws from the vision of the product, right? Now, the product strategy speaks about how the product will end up, right? And by setting it, you're basically just giving your product's direction. Now, you said, oh, you have this amazing vision, right? And this very, very clear mission of how you're going to get it done, right? But your product strategy, right, is what now gives you the guidance, right? Is what your product strategy is basically the tire that meets the road. Your product strategy is basically giving you a clear timeline, roadmap, right, with clear strategies, right, around your business, around pricing, around competition, around the market, right, of how you're going to drive your organization towards the desired goal. Right. I mean, just think of a map, right? You have a destination, but you need to plan your route, right? Your vision and mission speaks about your destination. Oh, this is where we're going to. But your strategy plans that, oh, okay, we're going to Ibadan. Oh, we can't take Lagos Ibadan. There's traffic, right? Okay, let us use Ekpe, right? Now, you've changed your strategy, right? Just the same way a business has a strategic vision of what it wants to become, the product also has its own strategy and destination, right? So your business has a strategy, and if you happen to be someone who houses digital products under your business, right, you need to also clarify what the strategy is going to be around those, right? Again, this is an introduction to product strategy, right? all of the topics that borders around product strategy, right? Again, around partnership and ecosystem, around monetization strategies, right? Around your pricing, right? And pricing psychology, right? Around agile, right? Agile product management, right? And all those types of things. We'll break it down in the Spintify bootcamp that is coming up very soon. Now, questions that you begin to ask yourself, right, when you get to the strategic level is, what are you selling, right? What are you selling, right? What is the sell, right? What value do you provide to your customers, right? What problems are you solving for them? Why would they part with their hard-earned money, right, just to subscribe to your product, right? How would you price your product, right? Is it going to be a market skimming, right? Or are you simply just going to just follow what your competition is doing? Or is it going to be cost plus? Okay, what's the cost of producing 1 unit of this item, right? And then you mark it up, right? How would you price your product? And how would you distribute your product? If it's a digital product, what distribution channels are you using? Or are you doing website, right? Are you doing a mobile app, right? Is it going to be on USSD, right?
Ayodeji, are you still there?
So Ayodeji is having some network issues. Just hold on just a minute.
Hello, is it better? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Ayodeji.
Sorry.
Can go.
Okay, great. I'll go on now. So let me share my screen. Let me know as soon as you can see my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Fantastic. So now let's go back to what we're talking about, right? So what are the pitfalls of product strategy, right? And we're taking a look at it from 3 different school of thoughts, right? One, whenever engineering team takes the lead, right, you notice that there is a lot more focus on development, right? They believe for every problem you build a feature to solve the problem, right? But also in that same case, there is a lack of clear value proposition, right? Because you build the future, you build the product, right? But the question still begs that, oh, who is this product for, right? How is this product going to be used? And why will customers pay for the products, right? Those are questions that you still need to answer, right? Now, the second school of thought, second scenario, whenever executive management takes lead, right, of product strategy, it becomes biased, right? Most likely it becomes a biased point of view, right? Or they begin to provide a biased point of view because management might begin to impose their views, right, on the rest of the team, right? And usually there is an over reliance on past success, right? And other team members might feel left out because also as an organization, you need to carry everybody along. Very, very important. Scenario 3, whenever marketing and sales team takes the lead, right? They focus on incremental improvements because they're always trying to satisfy wherever they are selling to, right? They focus on meeting the client's needs alone, right? They focus a lot on the bottom line because it's about the figures, it's about sales, right? And there is too much one-off customization, right? Now, permit me to just add, right? Because whenever you're building products, right, for especially B2B type of customers, you always have to try to focus on building once, right, for multiple people. So you build once and you use multiple times, right? But in this case, you find out that the customers, right, or the marketing and sales team, right, are focused on building specific products or features or propositions for different customers, right? That way it begins to tell on the engineering team if every single time you have to meet the customer's needs to be from scratch, right? You need to be able to build once and then use multiple times, right? That way you're able to scale and you become more profitable. Now, moving on to the benefits of an effective product strategy, right? Number one, there is an alignment across board. The product team or the product is aligned with the business, right? There is that alignment across board, right? There is effective collaboration across different functions, right? Effective collaboration across different functions, right? Because everybody is aligned, right? Everybody speaks the same language, right? There is effective product innovation, right? Strong product market fit because the strategy supports and backs the product, right? And then there is a clear market fit, right? And then there is customer advocacy. The customers begin to even become your ambassadors, right? They begin to speak about the product. Now, what are the disadvantages or what are the pitfalls, right, when there is no effective product strategy, right? Number one is there is lack of ownership, absence of customer advocacy, right? Lack of a single orchestrator, someone who owns the strategy, right? And then preaches the strategy to the rest of the organization, to the rest of the team, right? And there is an absence of strategic alignment, right? And then let's speak about who needs product strategy. Who needs product strategy? The summary of this slide is that every single product strategy, everybody needs product strategy, right? The technology industry, I mean, startups, software, big tech, right? They need product strategy. Even industrial products, right? You're developing consumer durables, medical equipment, agricultural equipment, right? You need product strategy. Tech-intensive services, right? Banking, IT services, insurance, all need product strategy. And also startup entrepreneurs. You're a startup entrepreneur, right, with an idea, a novel idea, you're trying to break into the market, get some sort of market share, right? You also need product strategy. Now let's speak about the V2MOM product strategy. Now this is a strategic template which I also use, right? And it is that's been used by some of the biggest organizations in the world, right? Now this is a good place to start with product strategy, right? This is a good place to start, and I will explain. So for the V2MOM product strategy template, there are 5 key areas that you focus on. Your vision, remember we've spoken about that. What do you want to accomplish, right? Your values, what is important about what you want to accomplish? Your method, how are you going to realize the vision that you spelled out clearly? What obstacles might you find in your way? And what measures will you take, right? What measures would you put in place to help you know that, oh, I have achieved my strategy, right? Now let's take a deeper dive into it, right? For your vision, right? what impact will it have on your organization, your employees, and your community, right? You need to also take that into consideration, right? What do you want to accomplish, right? Is it for the company, is it for the business, or is it for a particular product line? All right, what are the three most important values to you, right? And how can you describe those values clear enough so that everybody who reads understands it, right? And they get it one time, right? What specific actions would you take to be able to achieve your vision, right? Are there specific strategies, right? Or do they need to be prioritized, right? Is there one that needs to be focused on ahead of other, right? So your method, right, just speaks about the modus operandi, right? So what obstacles might you find in your way, right? And what would you do to be able to overcome those obstacles, right? And of course, how would you define success? These are the metrics, right? How would you measure your goals, right? Now, let me show you an example of a V2MOM template. And this is something that, I would love everybody to go back and just write out, right? Because what this does is that it gets you thinking. It gets you to think, right? And then you begin to think about your business, you begin to think about your product in a strategic way. It takes you off that day-to-day firefighting, right? That rat race of, there is this error, there is this bug, this product line is not generating revenue, or our environment is down, or the design that we did is not good enough, we need to update the design. Those are all tactical day-to-day activities, right? But this gets you thinking, and I would like everybody to take this back, right, as an assignment, and just develop a template similar to this for your business or for your product. I'm sure the slides will be shared to everybody, so you can just take this page as an example, right? But this is an example of a business, and their vision, right, is to be the best, most innovative, customer-focused airline, right, that reaches $1 billion revenue by 2018, right? That is a clear vision. The values that they chose to focus on: customer service, right? Customer service, their customer service would be intact, right? And to be one of the best. Growth, right? They are focused on rapidly growing and outgrowing their competitors, right? And then innovation. So these are the three values that they're going to embody as an organization, as a team, to aid them to achieve the vision that they've spelled out, right? What methods are they going to take to be able to achieve this, right? They will develop and implement partnerships with larger airlines, right? Again, this is a whole topic, right, at the product strategy bootcamp, right, at the product management bootcamp, right? Partnerships and ecosystem, because sometimes the solution, right, is not to build a new product. The solution sometimes is to partner, leverage on partners, right, and increase your addressable market, right? So for these guys, they're going to partner, right? They're also going to implement new technology to drive sales, right? So that technology is going to differentiate them from other competitors, right? And they're also going to deliver amazing customer service. Customer service is so amazing that their customers would keep coming back because of how they treat them. So these are the methods that they plan to adopt to be able to achieve the vision. What obstacles might they encounter? Budget limitations, right? This is something that everybody encounters at some point, right? Budget limitations, right? Competition, and also customers have little patience for downtime as they implement new technologies, right? So these are the obstacles that they're prospecting that they're going to meet on the way. So you can see how this gets you thinking, right? Because now you're not thinking about the day-to-day, you're beginning to think, you're beginning to think high level, you're beginning to think into the future, right? And what measures right, are they going to take to be able to counter these obstacles? You can see there, $1 billion revenue by the end of 2018, right? Acquire a top 10 global airline, right? So these are the measures that clearly communicate success, right? So for them, if they're able to achieve any of this, right, it's clear success in that area. And sometimes the problem with business or product strategy is that we have not clearly spelled out what the success criteria are, right? What the success metrics are, right? Something that will let you know that, okay, once I achieve this, then I am successful. For them, this is it. Once they get that $1 billion, they're successful in that area. Once they acquire one of the top 10 airlines, that's success. Once they launch a new sales reservation or check-in platform by Q2 of 2017, that's success. You can see how specific it is, right? Once they're able to train their 20,000 employees on new customer experience approach, that's success. If they're able to achieve 95% customer satisfaction rating, that is success. And if they're able to win the JD Power Customer Service Award, right, which is the National Customer Service Award in that area, that's a success. Now, this is clear, all right, and this is the take home for everybody on this call today. Go back, right, and then just think about your product or your business, right, and then populate this template just the exact way to just the exact way it is being done, right? Populate it for yourself, and you see that it gets you thinking. Okay, so let's move on. So let's speak about a couple of product strategy myths, right? Because also this area, to an extent, is often not so understood, right? So let's speak about some myths and let's compare it to what the actual reality is. Myth number one: product strategy is only for large companies with massive budgets and internal resources. That is a big lie. What is the reality? The reality is that you need product strategy regardless of the size of a company. In fact, before you even start to build your products, right, you need product strategy. Myth two: you have a product roadmap, therefore you have a product strategy. No, they are not the same thing, right? Yes, they are linked together. Yes, they are supporting documents, right? But they are not the same thing. Your vision and your strategy informs your product roadmap. Do not put the cart before the horse, right? Because your strategy on how you want to enter the market, right, will determine what features come at one point in time, right? Your strategy on how you want to scale, right, in terms of numbers, will determine what kind of features you implement on your roadmap to be able to drive user acquisition. So you can see the link, right? The strategy tells you how, right? The roadmap basically tells you when. Okay, this is the high-level plan for the next 1 year. This is what we are doing in Q1. This is what we are doing in Q2. And this is what we are doing in Q3. That's what the roadmap does. Another myth is that product strategy is for product managers alone. That's a lie, right? Product strategy is for every single person who is one way or the other involved with the product. Now, let's take a look at another myth. Now, people often say that, your products, right? Your products and how you churn them out, right? Your strategy, right? And your roadmap are not so important. They are not so linked. Now, take a look at these two products, right? Apple on one side, Microsoft on the other side. You can see the progression. You can see the progression, right? And there is a saying that I strongly believe that in every seed, there is always a seed, right? For Apple, they started out with Macintosh, but out of Macintosh came iPod, out of iPod came iPhone, and then came iPad, right? And today you have the iWatch, right? You have the AirPods, right? You have other product lines. So in what you're doing today, right, if you look deep inside, there is always something else. There is always another portfolio, another product proposition that you can spin off what you have today. See, Microsoft started out with MS-DOS, right? Afterwards, they created Windows. Afterwards, they created Microsoft Office, right? And today, Microsoft Azure, right, is probably their like this is their novel idea right now, right? Azure, right? And most top companies use Microsoft use the Microsoft Azure environment, right? So this is something I strongly believe in, that in a seed, there is always another seed if you look closely, right? So your strategy for your product has to be coined in such a way that it supports the fact that in your product, there is a new product or a new product line, right, that can be bettered from the existing one. So let's move on quickly. Let's speak about product myopia. And I will explain what product myopia means, right? Falling in love with your product and losing focus on the customer problem, right? This is always a strategic problem with products, right? Because you focus on the needs of the organization, right? And instead of defining the products, right, according to the customer needs, you focus on what the organization wants to do. Now, this is a mistake that I have made in the past, right? I've been with teams where we build product based on how we felt. We basically build the product for ourselves, right? And of course, we're the only ones who use the product, You understand? We're in our office, right? And we're basically prospecting what the user needs, right? Meanwhile, the goal is to be able to build a product that solves a real life problem for users. So you need to build a product off the back of data or feedback you've gotten from users, because you need users to use that product, and you're building it for a specific target market, right? So you always need to just focus on the users and then build for the users. But product myopia is very, very common, right? Because you narrow the definition of a product, right? Instead of inventing new ways to meet the customer needs, right? And then you often jump into conclusion, again, without taking into consideration the feedbacks you get from your customers or the feedbacks you get from the market. Let's look at how fatal product myopia can be, right? And then let's look at solutions, right? Or ways that we can use to mitigate against product myopia, right? I also give you 4 examples, right, of very, very common organizations who have suffered from this in the past, right? Now, a way to tackle product myopia is that, number 1, always begin with a clear vision of the customer problem which your product is solving, right? You also have to factor this into your V2MOM strategy and factor this into your vision, your mission, your strategy, right? Number 2, make sure that your product solves a particular customer problem, right? That's standard. That should be the least, right? And always go out with a beginner mindset, right? Don't think that you know it all, right? Focus on what the customers are telling you, right? And pay great attention to it. Don't be complacent also. Continuously adopt your product to meet changing customer needs. Because today, what the user wants today will always not be what the user wants tomorrow, right? Customer needs changes over time. As an organization, right, as someone who is crafting out a product strategy, you need to do it in such a way that you ensure that the strategy changes in line with customers' needs, which is constantly changing, right? And always pivot. Have the courage to pivot, right? If your product at some point becomes irrelevant, right? And always keep an eye on competitors, right, who are solving the same customer problem and learn from them. These are 4 companies, right, which have suffered from product myopia, right, in the past. Blockbuster was doing very well. They had several hundreds of chains of stores, right, in the US, but they refused to reinvent themselves, and then Netflix came and basically kicked them off the market, right? Kodak, right, instead of them focusing on their core competency, right, which is the production of cameras, right, producing better cameras, more quality cameras, right, they were busy buying off other companies, right? And then today, Kodak is not as relevant as it used to be. We all know the story of BlackBerry, right? BlackBerry was simply just, I really don't know the word to use, right? But they were simply just stubborn, right? They refused to rather invest, right, in their product, right? You had the likes of Android and iOS. They were building phones that were running on amazing softwares, right? They were building phones that were focused on softwares, but BlackBerry did not focus on their software, right? And because of that, Android and iOS phones with better softwares, with better operating systems, kick them off the market, right? And the same thing applies to Nokia, right? Nokia just refused to be innovative, right? And that was their major problem. So as a startup entrepreneur, as a business owner, right, as a senior executive, right, you always need to ensure that you avoid product myopia by focusing on what the customer needs are, right? And letting the customers guide you based on data from the market, based on data from their usage, based on historical data that you get from products, and use those informations or those data rather to make informed decisions for your products. Now, we're almost done. Let's take a look at a couple of strategic role plays when it comes to product strategy. The first one is product strategy and company sizes, right? For the startups and small companies, usually the founder is the one who drives the product strategy. For the mid-sized companies, you have a product management organization that's been created. So product managers usually drive the product strategy, right? And for large organizations, right, this is usually done by the chief product officer, the VP of product management, right? So organizations like these have a larger product team, right? And they're distributed across product portfolios, right? So this strategy of the product, right, for each of the portfolios is managed by the product managers, right, in charge of those portfolios. And the product strategy, overall product strategy for the organization is then managed by the chief product officer, right? So you can see that for every type of organization, product strategy is extremely, extremely important. Now, let's look at product-centric organizations versus brand-centric organizations. Okay, something is blocking the screen. Okay, is this still blocking the screen or is it better?
Better.
Okay. I think Alessi, I think that is unique to you because Adebona can see the screen clearly. So I'll just go on. Now let's look at product-centric versus brand-centric organizations. Product-centric organizations, right? The strategy is usually driven by the product managers, while brand-centric organizations, of course, driven by the brand managers. An example is your typical FMCG companies, right? They are driven by brand managers, right? But for product-centric organizations, products are technically complex, right? And product development requires a lot of investment and a lot of time, right? For brand-centric, they are less complex. You're most likely just selling a consumer good and pushing it into the market, right? For product-centric organizations, brands are usually managed at the corporate level, right? While for brand-centric organizations, brands are managed individually. So you have a brand manager for this brand, you have a brand manager for that brand, that kind of structure, right? For product-centric organizations, product managers have a revenue responsibility usually, but it doesn't really connect directly to the P&L, right? But for brand-centric organizations, whatever the brand manager does, right, is connected to the bottom line of the organization, always. Now let's look at one more: product strategy and company sizes, right? So you have product companies, right, where products are the key focus of the company, right? Even if they might be delivered as a service, right? While for service companies, services are the key offering. So this is comparing product companies with service companies, right? Products are product driven, while service companies are service driven, right? The major revenue lines for product companies that are driven by products is sale of the products, while for service companies, the major revenue lines are driven by service delivery. For product companies, products are surrounded by services, right? So these services complement and augment the product and they enhance the product offering. While for service companies, services are surrounded by products. So you basically productize the service. So that is the comparison. Now, remember, the take-home assignment for everybody here today is create your own V2MOM strategy using the template that was shown on this page. Yes, using this template, create a V2MOM strategy for your product or for your business, right? Or for your proposition, whatever proposition you're trying to push into the market. Create a V2MOM strategy. Sit down, think about this in detail, and then populate this template. And I promise you, it will help you just to think about your market a lot more, think about your customers a lot more, think about what you're trying to achieve a lot more, and how you're going to get there, what measures you take to achieve that, what obstacles you might meet along the way, how you're going to overcome those obstacles, right? And at the end of the day, it would help you to clearly spell out what success means to you, right? Now, this is usually where we start the journey of product strategy, right? Once you do this, you basically created the foundation to move on to other areas of product strategy, taking a deep dive into the market, taking a deep dive into your business, your partner, your ecosystem strategy, right? Pricing, monetization, what your business model is like, right? Creating an whole offer of a product, right? And all those other strategic activities, which would be going through in detail, right, at the Spintify bootcamp. But once you're able to do this is a good place to start from. Thank you very much. I'll take questions now. Hello.
Thank you, Ayodeji. So any questions from anybody? You could just either drop it in the chat box or just unmute to ask. Any questions, please?
I could go ahead. This is Dorothy. Thanks for the presentation and the insights about product strategy. I think the areas, I just have a comment and a question. Yeah, the areas that confuse quite a number of us is around product strategy and brand strategy. I think you are trying to differentiate that a bit. My question is, how does product strategy, how is it any different from the general business strategy? Because you're using the same building blocks, values, mission, vision, and then tactics. So I think that would be my question.
Okay, thanks, Dorothy, for your question. And the simple answer to it is that to an extent, they are the same thing. They're the same, right? The business strategy focuses on the business, right? And what the business is trying to achieve as a whole, right? The product strategy focuses on the product, a particular product, what problem that particular product is trying to solve, right, in the market, right? And most times the product strategy is usually a subset of the business strategy, right? Because, I mean, I'll give you an example, right? Using Apple as an example, right? Now, Apple has an overarching business strategy, right? But also, Apple has a strategy for the MacBook Air product, right? They have a product strategy for the AirPods. They have a product strategy for the iPhone, right? And yes, I mean, there'll be similarities in all of those strategies, but usually, right, for some of those different types of products, right, the strategy might differ a bit to an extent, you understand? So product strategy usually is a subset of the business strategy. They're always all connected, right? But depending on the markets you're playing in, right, there might be a little bit of differences, right, in the strategies for the products. So I hope that answers your question. Hi, Dorothy, does that help?
Yes, it does. It's clear. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions?
Hi. Thank you for the presentation again. I wanted to ask, how does your product strategy, especially as maybe a product manager now, affect the methodology you use in achieving said strategy?
Okay, so again, so it starts from the vision, the mission, right? The strategy, right? Your strategy usually is what gives you the direction for your roadmap, for instance. Okay, so let me use an example, right? As a product manager, you're trying to build a digital bank, right? What you're trying to do is to build a digital bank. However, for your strategy, you decide that, okay, for me to be able to enter the market and drive user acquisition, right, I would first of all start with digital lending, right? So remember, your goal is to be a digital bank, maybe for small businesses or for individuals, for instance, right? And you love to carry out all the activities of a typical bank, but digitally, right? But because your strategy is, you know what, I need to drive user acquisition very quickly, right? So what can I do, right, that I know that would make it easy for us to be able to attract users to our products. Lending. Everybody wants to borrow money one way or the other, right? And then you start with lending, and then in your roadmap, lending becomes your MVP. You understand? So what that means is that you're building a lending product, right? And you're trying to use that lending offering to drive user acquisition. You understand? So often the strategy you have for your product gives you a direction on how you go, what you do at what point in time, because the skills required to build a lending proposition, right, is different from the skill required to build maybe a mobile check deposit and proposition, right? So that informs you on what you need at every point in time to be able to achieve your desired and strategic goals. Does that help?
Yeah, it clears up a lot. Thank you very much.
All right, great. Thank you very much. Any more questions?
Hi, hello, good morning, Deji. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Good morning.
Okay, hi, my name is Adesola. So in terms of product myopia, I just want to know, the emphasis are more or less based on the customer expectations as opposed to the product. Is that correct?
Yes, you should always be guided by what the customer wants.
Okay, because that will set the basis for what the product will eventually look like.
Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, right, the goal is to build something that, one, solves a problem for your customer. Number two, solves that problem so well that the customer is willing to pay you money to access that product, right? So yes, I know that behind every strategy, the organization also wants to make money. You understand? But the best way to make that money is to build that product for that customer. Build that product for that customer, identify the target market, identify what their problems are, and then build that product to solve that problem. Once you're solving a problem for people, right, they will do whatever they need to do to be able to access your product, right? And there's a saying I believe in: whatever you cannot do for yourself, you would have to pay for someone else to do it for you, right? So if you're able to do something for that customer and do it very well, right, ensure that it is seamless to use, ensure that the experience is amazing, it's interesting, right, and keep giving nice offerings, right, to your users, right, they would always pay for it. Right. So myopia is you just focusing on yourself, focusing on what you think, right? Focusing on the problem you think your customer has. But instead, you should actually access that customer, engage that customer, try to understand their challenges, right? Their problems, and then build your product to solve their problem.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so in this case, sorry to digress. In this case, if you were using, for instance, maybe Instagram as an example, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
So in this case, if you were using Instagram as an example, you would say that the customer expectations are more or less met in terms of the features and what Instagram generally proposes to the market, right? And you will say that the way the app, for instance, makes money is through things like ads and all that. Am I correct?
Yes, you are to an extent. The funny thing was that Instagram did not even start the way it was, right? Okay. Instagram actually pivoted. I can't remember exactly what Instagram used to be, right? But Instagram wasn't this photo and video sharing and social media tool that we have today. Instagram was something else, right? But they built it and they realized that acquisition wasn't great. People were not onboarding, people were not using the products. And along the line, while engaging the customers, discovered that, oh, okay, actually customers want something different, right? And they built the product to address that customer need and see where they are today. They have millions of users worldwide, right? And the same thing can be said for a lot of products today, right? Who started out with something different, right? And then along the line, they began to do some other things, right? Amazon started out as a bookstore, right? But today, Amazon is into e-commerce, right? Amazon is into data, right? Amazon is even into movies, right? Basically competing with Netflix, right? And what they've done is they've taken their time to actually understand their customers, understand what their customers want, and they're basically building products, right? Building solutions to those problems. Once you build a solution to a real problem, And once you're able to build it for a particular target market, right, who are willing to part with their hard-earned money to pay for it, right, then you'll be profitable over time. Of course, there are other external dependencies and all, right, but at least that is the baseline, minimum baseline, right, for a great product strategy.
Thank you so much. Also, from what I've been able to get from this session, I realized that with products, and I'm talking in terms of things like maybe fintech or tech products, there is really nothing that is new under the sun. Most products are just a bit tweaked or maybe revamped to necessarily fit the customer needs, right?
Yes, so to an extent, I can agree with you, right?
Right.
Also, I would say that, I mean, there have been times where you have some exceptions. Well, I mean, there is always someone who does something for the first time, right? I mean, see what Tesla is doing with the electric cars and all that. A couple of people have tried it in the past, right? But it didn't really scale, right? See what Tesla is trying to do also with basically commercializing transportation to Mars, right? They haven't done it, but I mean, with what I've seen with Tesla, they will get it done in a matter of years, right? And when they do it, they'll be the first ever doing that kind of thing. So most things I would say, right, have been done before, right? So people just tweak, right, and just maybe updates, right, or create different propositions or what already exists. But you have certain cases where people actually build out product propositions that are unique, right, and are totally new and have not been done before. There are cases like that. I mean, see Ford, right? See when Ford started with vehicles, right? They were the first to do it. You understand? Hi, Adesola. Does that help?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Okay, any more questions? Before we move ahead? Okay, I mean, so in the absence of questions, I really just want to encourage everybody. Two things. Number one, please, once you get the slides, take your time out and just populate your V2MOM strategy for your product, right? And number two, please subscribe to the Spintify bootcamp because this is just the tip of an iceberg. There's still a lot more that I can touch around product strategy, right? So we'll be taking deep dives into the tactical day-to-day product activities. In fact, it's going to be a whole roadmap, right? So we'll start from introduction into product management, right? And speak about what product management is to different people, the role of a product manager, how a product manager interacts with other roles or other functions. I mean, basically just trying to help you understand what product management is about, right? And then we'll move on to the tactical day-to-day product management types of activities, how you document, how you run A and B testing, right? How you gather requirements or break it down, right? How you build a product roadmap, right? And all those tactical day-to-day activities. And then we would end at the strategic activities, right? How to decide the pricing of your product, how to launch your product, how to enter into the market, gain market share, how to leverage on partnerships for your product, how to monetize your product, right? So it's going to be an end-to-end journey. Every single thing product management will be breaking down on the product management bootcamp. So I would advise you to please subscribe. Thank you very much. So over to you, the moderator.
Thank you, Ayodeji, and for time and also for speaking. I think that's been a 1 hour of intensive presentation on what understanding immersive product strategy. And I will also advise again, this is just a snippet of what will be done in the product school. Please register for the product school. I'll put the link in the chat box and I'll do it again. All right, so we don't take too much time. We'll just go over to the next speaker for today. And that's Abiodun Fiwa. Abiodun will be speaking on understanding UI UX design immediately. So please, you'll come up in the next 2 minutes. Thank you.
So hi everybody, good morning. Hi Becky. Becky, good morning. How are you today? Can you hear me? Hello, good morning everybody. Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes, we can.
so I'm not sure the speakers, the attenders, can they unmute and talk?
Good afternoon, ma.
Okay, so we're talking now.
Fake-Kemi.
Okay, hi Fake-Kemi. Fake-Kemi, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, ma.
All right, welcome to class, or welcome to
Thank
this
you.
master class. Yeah.
Welcome,
Hadesuyi Omole. Hi, good evening. Good morning. Sorry. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you. Welcome to class. Hi, Anibaba. Anibaba, how are you today?
Hello, how are you doing? Good
Yeah,
morning.
I'm fine. Good morning. Welcome to class. Becky, how are you today? Good
Morning.
morning.
Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. Is this Abiodun speaking?
Yeah, this is Abiodun speaking.
Okay, how are you doing? Yeah, I missed the one earlier with Ayodeji.
Okay. All right. Welcome. Becky, good morning. How are you
Thank you very much.
today? Hi, Becky. Good morning. How are you? All right. Good morning. All right. So good morning, everybody. I might not be able to say hi to everyone. My name is Fiwa, and my name is Abiodun Fiwa, actually, right? But a lot of people call me Fiwa. So you can engage with me as Fiwa. I'm a product designer, and I'm also the founder of Excels Design School. So I'm happy to be here today. Thank you so much, Spintify, for giving me this opportunity. Well done to the team. You're doing an amazing job. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about understanding. I want to share my screen. We'll be talking about understanding UI UX design, right? And I was here when Ayodeji was saying some things about product design, and so it was really, really interesting to understand. The summary of everything is that product design, product development is all about solving problem, right? You don't just come with, you don't just come with assumption and you start building stuff, but there has to be reason. Everything you're doing has to work in line with what the users are expecting, or what the user needs is, and how you can solve a problem that can fit into their needs and solve their problem. So product design, product management, everything is boiling down to the point that we are solving problems, right? So I would like to hear from everyone that is here. Why exactly are you in this meeting, right? I love to have discussion with people. I want to know why you are here. I want to know your expectation, right? Before we go into the slide that we have today. So I'll be starting with Uchenna. Hi, Uchenna, how are you today? Uchenna, can you hear me? Hello, Chena, can you hear me? Okay, is there anyone who wants to volunteer to tell me why they are here today? Or why do you want to become a product designer? Whichever the case is.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good
Okay,
morning.
sorry, I'll allow the other gentleman speak.
Okay,
Good morning.
fine.
My name is Ayodeji Fosore.
Okay.
So I came in basically for this program because I want to learn more about UI and design.
Mm.
I have the basic knowledge of graphic design, but I want to integrate to product design and user interface and user experience. I think that's it. So that's the reason why I'm here.
Okay, great. So can you guys see my screen?
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes,
Can you
you can see.
All right, I want to be sure that you can see my screen. So can I have another person tell me, this person just mentioned that is a graphic designer, and one of the trend in Nigeria is that people that are graphic designers, they want to transition into UI UX design. Like it's very, very common. If you notice the top guys in the industry, most of them were graphic designers before they become UI designers, right? So that's like a trend, and I'm going to be addressing that point very soon. So let's have another person. Please let this class be very interactive, right? Can we have another person tell me why they are in this class, or why are you considering UI UX design?
All right, good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, good morning.
My name is Adipona Adekunle.
Okay.
All right. One of the major reasons why I would love to learn this because aside from solving problems, I understand that at this age, at this point, people are tending to be more lazy and they just want it easy as it goes. So basically, solving people's problem or customers' problem comes from the fact that comes from the experiences they encounter with whatever. There was a time that I had issues with GT app login and all. If there was a way, a better experience, I wouldn't have had that access, that issue that time. So I came up with the idea like, okay, as I said, I'm also a graphic designer as well, transiting into UI UX. Well, basically, it's not about the design, but about the experience, about asking people, getting to know the problem people are facing, and also fixing it and creating a solution via designs and all.
All right, nice. So I love the fact that you're able to, can you guys see my two screens? Like I'm sharing two screens now. One is the slide and the other one is a new Chrome. Can you see that?
Yes.
I can see it.
All right, great. So thank you very much. The person that just finished talking now, you actually made a very good point. You mentioned that he's into UI UX design, or you want to know more about UI UX design because you want to solve people's problem, right? You want to create great experience. You want to build a product that is simple to use and at the same time solving user problem. And that's a very good start, right? It's a very, very good start. You need to understand this foundation for you to actually become a UI UX designer. Is there any other person? I want a lady to talk. Just one person, and we are going to start our discussion for today.
Okay, sorry. Well, I'm not a lady, but my name is Adesola.
I want a lady to talk. I want a lady to talk. Let's give one woman a chance. Then I can still allow you to talk. Don't worry. I have 1 hour, 30 minutes. So we are going to have fun in this particular class. So can I have a woman? All right. So I don't know. Is there a woman here? You have to talk.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Hi. Who's talk?
Hello.
Hello. I can hear you.
My name is Becky.
Okay.
Okay. I want to learn UI UX because I understand that it is one of the top skills that are in demand. Top skills that are in demand. So I want to be able to cash in and make more money with it.
Okay.
So that is why I'm interested in it.
So that's why you are interested in UI UX design. So it's not a bad thing at all, right? There are some people that are into this particular career because they they've searched around and they ask themselves that what's actually the skill that is really making money now, or the skill that people are respecting that field very well, and they were like, okay, can I just go for this one, right? But that might be a start for you, but there is a place where you need to understand what this particular thing is really entails, and you can actually say that, okay, I'm actually interested in this because this is part of the things I want to do with my life, right? So it's beyond, oh, is this thing making money? Is this thing not making money? There was a time that doctors are actually there is actually the only career or job out there where you ask little children, what do you want to become? I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer, and all of those things. Right now things are shifting into the technology space, right? So you don't join a particular thing maybe because it is the one that is reigning or is the one that people are talking about, right? It might be something that it might be what interests you at the beginning, right? But it shouldn't be like the core reason you are into that particular field. Try to understand what the field is about, which is one thing we are going to be doing today. So the last person that wanted to talk, before Becky, should please tell me the reason is here, or why you want to study, or why you want to know more about UI UX design. I would love to hear from you. Hello? Or am I still here? Hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can.
Okay, who was the person, please? Hello? Okay, so let's just continue because I don't know if the person is still here. So, like I said, my name is Fiwa, and I'm a product designer. So the first thing we want to talk about today is designers in their formative years. And I like the way this discussion is going because that's what we have started with already. A lot of people, before they join this particular field, they are designers, they are graphic designers before, right? And why they join this particular field, they really don't understand what this field is about, right? So some people might be thinking UI UX design is the advanced version of graphics design. Some people will be thinking that UI UX design is the father or is the parent scope of graphic design. Anyway, UI UX design and graphic design, they are not the same thing, right? Graphic design is more like a traditional way of designing. And when I say traditional way, that doesn't mean that it's an old way of designing or it's something that is irrelevant. It's just the way their process is. The process of graphic design is what makes it different from UI UX design. A particular woman that is maybe she's selling groceries, she's a supermarket person, or she sells all of these basic petty things, she can decide that, okay, I want to do a banner, I want to do a banner for my shop or for my office, whatever the case is, or I want to do a business card and all of those things. The person reach out to a graphic designer and ask the graphic designer that, oh, this is what I want to do. Can you help me with it? And one graphic designer can jump on that particular woman's task and be able to come up with visuals that actually work perfectly for our brand. But when it comes to UI UX design, it's more about you solving a problem, right? There is an existing problem that you have validated, right? You know that, okay, this problem is real with my users. My users are facing these particular issues. And you pass through some process to actually build a product that solves the problem of the user and at the same time meets the business goal of the company. And that's where, product managers, that is where they come in. The product manager is concerned about how, the user experience that you guys are building, that is the designers that are building, how it aligns with, the core business goal. So a UI UX designer, sorry that I'm using the word product designer. Product designers and UI UX designers, they are not the same thing as well. But that's not where we are going to today. So when it comes to UI UX design, our process is really what makes us different from, that is what really makes us different from a graphic designer. A graphic designer can jump on a project now and it's done within 1 minute or within 1 hour. That doesn't mean that their work is not tedious. but their work is not focused on applications. Their work is not based on things that users can go through, perform a particular task, and they are able to get results. Their work is majorly maybe static design, beautiful things. They're really not considering if somebody can. The graphic designers, they are concerned about the users, so that we will not make mistake. Because if something is not appealing to your eyes, right, you're not going to like it or love it as a user, or you're not going to be attracted to it at first. But a graphic designer is just going to is all about, is this thing fine, right? Is this thing good? Is this thing good looking? Am I using the right color? Am I using the right images, right? So that is what a graphic designer, that is what a graphic designer is looking into. A graphic design, a UI UX designer is looking beyond if something is fine, if something is well laid out, right? They're looking into also the user experience of the product. That is, am my user able to understand this product? Are they able to navigate easily? Is this product solving their problem? That is it useful to them? Is this product usable for them? And that's why you say, as a UI UX designer, what we build is actually applications and some other digital products. Do you get? So now, at the beginning or at the first stage of a UI UX designer, one of the issues people face is that they don't understand what it means to solve problems, right? And because most people's background is always graphic design, where they don't need to do a lot of research, right? They just need to understand the basic information of what the client is doing, and they're coming up with a visual, right? So most people come to UI UX design and they are frustrated in their first month or their first week or in their 3 weeks. And that's why bootcamp is very important, right? Where you go there to learn the process of things and you can build relevant products, which is what Spintify is offering to you, right? So at the beginning stage or in the formative year of a designer, one of their issues is actually the ability to solve problems. I always tell my students something. See, as a UI UX designer, they are not paying you because you can design fine things. Do you understand? It's beyond the fine thing you are doing. It's about, are you building a product that people, that is the people that we are building this product for, did they find it easy for them to use? Did they understand it? Is it solving their problems? Do you understand? And why they are using that product, the flow of the application, I hope it is not frustrating to them. Do you understand? You are looking into how seamless they can use it, how simple the thing can go up. Do you understand? So one key thing you need to understand is that this career path is not fine thing. It's not about fine, you said. You understand? It's not like that. For people that cannot hear you, but it doesn't. UI UX design is not about, does this thing look fine alone? Do you understand? It's beyond all of those things. It is about solving a problem. So if you don't understand the problem you are solving, you cannot even go into the design. Do you understand? So let's move forward. Okay, so there's this saying that engineers and business people are trained to solve problems. Designers are trained to discover real problems. Now, majority of the company out there or startup out there, the reason some of their products fail is because they did not validate the point that there is an existing problem. So as a UI UX designer, your goal is not, let me go on Figma and let me go and start designing and start adding color. Your goal is, first of all, to discover if there is actually a real problem. Now, let me give you a scenario. I am hungry. Hungry or hunger is my problem, right? So I reach out to you as a UI UX designer. How are you going to solve that problem? So let me ask the participants here. Don't worry, there is no wrong answer here. There is no right answer here. I just want to see your level of thinking, because that is actually our core goal in this particular meeting, for you to understand that actually UI UX design is not about the regular rectangles that you're listing, but more about how can you think? How can you navigate a problem? How can you break down a problem into a solution? So now, hunger is the problem. I reach out to you as a UI UX designer. How do you think, or what approach are you going to use to solve that particular problem? So one person should please start. Who's going first?
You're hungry.
Okay. Amale. Is it, did I pronounce the name well?
Yes, you are right.
All right. So Amale, so what
Yeah,
question?
come to me, but so I want me to provide solution to your problem. First of all, I will ask you, do you have money to eat? If you don't have money to eat, okay, if it's in my capacity. Okay, let me say as a UI designer now, I need to provide solution for you. So then I can direct you to a nearby cafeteria to go and eat or restaurant. So, and if you don't have money, I can give you the money to eat. So I provide solution to your problem if you're hungry.
All right. So this person is actually a kind person. So let's hear from another person's perspective.
All right. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
All right. At first, two ways. It's either I see the person looking hungry, or maybe there's this body language that shows the person is hungry, or the person comes to come and meet me. If I'm saying that, then meeting up the person, I need to ask, okay, number one, I discovered that you're hungry, and if it is true, then there are two things. One, should the person is craving for one thing, or the person is just naturally hungry just to find something to eat. It is in two ways. The first one, if craving, then providing a solution for that, you know that, okay, there's a particular thing this person wants to eat. Okay, we're going to straight to the point to get that. Even if someone wants to eat, just want to eat, number one, you need to check if it is a elderly person, what the food must contain and what it must not contain. And secondly, if it's a young person, what should be needed, or provided that the person has not taken anything, probably first providing water. The person must take at least water, and also ask if the person is either probably has ulcer or there's one issue or the other, because this is very important before you even provide the food the person is going to eat, so that you won't have any issue, or maybe the person is even fasting. So all these questions need to come out first, regardless of the fact that the person wants to eat, because it is very important to have this at the back of your mind. So when you're getting the food for the person, or you're giving money to the person can easily get what he or she wants, or you get the exact thing for the person. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So let me just come in. I like the first speaker is actually very kind. The first speaker said that, oh, I'll be giving money to this person so that this person can go and get food, right? The second speaker said that, oh, I'll try to understand, I will try to look at the body language of the person that is hungry. And I'll first of all discover that truly you are hungry, right? Before I start to give you a solution to your problem. Every one of us that have talked, we are actually very right? In the sense that you're trying to understand the problem and how best you can solve it. Now, coming to this particular quote that is here, as a designer, you don't jump into providing solution to a problem when you don't understand the problem, or when you have not discovered that there is a real problem, right? So the moment you discover that, okay, this person is actually hungry, the next thing is for you to look out for what solution can I give to this person. I love the fact that every one of us here, none of us actually talked about, oh, I'm going to build an application, the application will deliver it to the person's house. That is like something that is existing, something that is happening. We already know that, okay, there is food application, like you are already putting your mind to the end goal, instead of you thinking about, oh, what other means can I use to provide this person a solution? Because the fact is that it might not be food application that will solve the person's problem. So because we are used to building application does not mean that the solution to that particular problem must be a real application that the person will go to go and do it. You want to ask for other information. Oh, is it that there is no food in your community? Is it that it is money that is your issue? Or what exactly is it, job that is your issue? Do you get? So your perspective should not always be the regular solution that you know that, okay, this is how this thing is done. And that is why design process is not linear. right? It's a back and forth stuff. And that is why product designers and product managers, most of the time, what usually causes clash amidst them is that, oh, this person is looking at the great experience, this person is looking at the business goal. Do you understand? They are trying to ensure that this thing is working together. When they launch a product, they want to see, oh, the designer is like, oh, can these people use it? Did they understand the icons? Did they understand how to go about the navigation of this product? The product manager is trying to look at, okay, what we are doing now, is it achieving the goal? Is it achieving the business goal? Is it also achieving the customer goals as well? Do you understand? So these are like things that happen at the back end of a product designer. So first of all, you need to understand that as a UI UX designer, discover that there is a problem. Do you understand? When you discover that there is a problem, then you can start to define the problem by making research from the people that want to use that product and not you assuming that. Now, let me give you an example of a product that I built some time ago. This person reached out to me and said, oh, Fiwa, I have this amazing idea. I want you to help me to build this product. And I'm like, oh, just give me time. I want to call is a restaurant application, right? So give me time. Let me reach out to top restaurants, not even necessarily top restaurants, but restaurants on Instagram or even around us, so that we can gather information that this problem that you're talking about is actually something that they are facing. Do you understand? And man was like, oh, your own process is too much. Oh, I want someone that can jump on this project and is able to finish it in the next 3 months, and we are done with launching. We started sales. You understand? This is what business owners, this is how they talk about their ideas at the initial stage. Sometimes we can't blame them, but as time goes on, we need to help them to understand that this thing is about process, because it's going to be very painful to a business owner. At the same time, the product team, when you build a product that nobody is using, it's going to be very painful. So it's better for you to reach out to the people that are potential user. Try to ask them questions. Oh, we are trying to build a calculation for you guys. You guys are always going to the market, putting it on paper. Why can't we have a digital product that can help you to put down your information? And at the end of the day, the system will be able to tell you that, okay, your food portion, this portion of food, you should sell it this amount of money so that you can make profit as a food business owner. That idea is a very good idea, but is that the priority of the product and the restaurant right now? Is that like a core problem to these guys now? Do you get? So when you speak to your users, you learn to understand their problem. So because the way you are thinking about a problem might not be the way they are seeing their problem. Do you understand? So while you talked with them, you understand, okay, this is the problem that is common to all of them. And this is what we should work on majorly. We have a very good idea. And I love what the first speaker was talking about, that most of the product that you're seeing out there, the Instagram, maybe Twitter, these guys did not start the way they are right now. Based on the user information, the data they've collected, the experience, the feedbacks, they actually craft out their products to be better. Do you understand? So if there is something you need to understand in class today, is that product UI UX design is about understanding your user, solving a problem for them. Do you understand? So it's beyond just a rectangle, square, how fine it is. In fact, those things are very basic, although they are also important. We are not ruling it out, but I want you to put your attention into how can we solve problem for our user? Because if you are able to do that, hiring manager is going to want you in their company. Now, what exactly is UI UX experience? UI and UX design. Now, I know that there are a lot of description of what UI is, what UX is, and that's why I really don't like to go into all of this thing. But because this is a boot camp and there is a need for you to also understand the theoretical aspect of this, I will be giving you what the information is. But I feel that if you are in this study, you should have made research about this basic information. But anyways, I'm still going to give us that information. Now, what is user interface? User interface is the process designers use to build interfaces in software or customized devices, focusing on look or style. Designer aims to create interface which users find easy to use and pleasurable. In this particular information, you are going to notice some important terms. Number one is the look or style. So when it comes to user interface, a user interface designer and a graphic designer, they're similar. only that a user interface, just imagine user interface, you are really considering your user as you are building your products. Do you get? So a user interface designer, they focus majorly on what looks and the style of the products that they are building, or of the application, or of the software they are building, right? So designers aim to ensure that this style, this beauty, this look that they've created is actually easy to use and it is pleasurable, right? So there are some websites in 2000, 2003, 2001 that when you get to that website or when you get to that mobile application, it is horrible, it is overwhelming. There is no proper layout, everything is looking clumsy, right? So all of those things, that were bad experience, they are giving bad experience to the users. And that's why as time goes on, you see that there are a lot of beautiful interface that are existing now. So when it comes to interface, it's more about the the style and the look of an application. Do you get? So user interface is concerned about the visual styling of an app. Do you get? So things like, how is this icon designed? How is this page arranged? How is everything working into another? What is the font choice? What is the color scheme? What is the graphics? What is the button like? What is the menu style like? All of these together are what make a user interface. If you understand everything I've been saying up to this point, type yes in the chat section so that I'll be sure that everyone is getting me. If you understand it up to this, all right, great. All right, so let's move to the next thing. Thank you for your response. I love this class because you guys are active. So now the next thing is user experience. User experience is the process design team used to create products that provide meaningful and relevant experience to user. This involves the design of the entire process of acquiring and integrating the product, including aspects of branding, design, usability, and function. Those are plenty English, right? But let's give an example to this particular thing. For example, you want to buy a shoe, right? You want to get a shoe. Now, how do you go about getting a shoe? The first thing is for you to Google it online, that the best shoes online or the best shoe website, right? And when you get to that website, the first thing you start doing, you are happy, right? At the beginning that, okay, I should be able to get the website. And when you get the website, you're actually happy, you feel excited, you start navigating the shoe category, right? So after getting to the shoe category, the next thing is like, you saw 300 results. Yeah, amazing. I'm going to find a lot of things here. But remember that when you saw 300 results or 300 type of shoes, you are looking hard for a place where you can type red shoes or black shoes or sneakers or ladies shoe or male shoe, right? You are looking so that it's not going to be like you are just navigating all the things that that you don't need, because it's possible for you to see a baby shoe, for you to see female shoe, and maybe you're a guy. Do you understand? It's possible that it's bringing you pink related shoes, and maybe your heart fit is actually black or kind of brown shoe that you're expecting. Do you get? So the first thing is it's showing you a lot of things, and you're trying to look at how can I type the one like black female shoe or black male shoe, but it's not on the website. You're going to feel that, why is this thing like this, right? So that is going to give you a feeling of what? Disappointment. Remember that when you started this particular thing, there was a need, right? There was a lack. There was something you were looking for. Then you go on Google, a place where you can find hope, a place where you can find results. And the next thing is for you to you were able to see such that particular website. You jump into the website like, okay, yes, I'm going to get what I'm looking for. But when you get to you're trying to look for a specific thing, but these specific things, you don't know how to go and get it. Everything is just looking all clumsy, right? You feel disappointed. That is the feeling that you're going to have, right? The next thing is that you scroll all through all the 300 pages, right? Then at the end of the day, you're able to get a shoe, right? So when you're able to get that shoe, you feel what? Another excitement. Yeah, yes, last, we're able to, get this particular shoe. And before you know it, you go out to the checkout page. And before you know it, you're trying to you know, when you went to the checkout page, the next thing you saw is that there was a very long list of the things that you are going to fill. And you are like, what is this? For example, maybe there are like 10 mandatory field, that is form that you have to fill. You have to fill your name, shoe types, this, and like, I'm tired of this process. Do you understand? So that particular website is not well designed in terms of experience. In fact, they might have a very beautiful interface, right? They might have something that is really looking nice. Maybe they use very good color. The hierarchies were okay, and everything was looking aligned. But the experience, the user experience is not good. It's frustrating. Do you understand? There's too much of back and forth. You get, and users don't have time for such. When you give a user a particular product to do, let them go on that page and be able to perform that task easily. So a user experience designer is looking into the psychology of the people that are using their product. So that's why I tell my students, you see, the basic class is when we deal with you getting the rectangles and all of those things. So when you know how to create those things, don't think you have arrived. You understand? That's not it. You understand? When you have arrived is when you can solve problem and you can create a great experience for your users. Because there are so many competitions out there, and somebody actually eventually come to your page and the person is unable to complete their task easily because there was no user experience designer that can actually build such. That is going to be plenty error. Do you understand? So as a designer, you're looking into, especially because in Nigeria, in fact, sometimes we only say in Nigeria, but I have realized, because I engage with a lot of people that are also outside Nigeria, I have realized that most of the issues that we are having here are even some of the issues that these guys are having there. So when it comes to maybe in Nigeria, Nigerians like to employ both UI and UX designer. Most people, most companies are looking out for UI, and at the same time, the person can design the experience or have the experience of how a product should look like. Do you get? So that is like, that scenario that I just painted is what is like an experience of somebody building a nice interface, but there is no good experience for that product. You get? So now let's talk about WhatsApp. When WhatsApp, first of all, started, there was nothing like status, right? So, but as time goes, because I remember that time, I would change my profile picture almost every day, or even maybe three times in a day. Do you understand? So if I take one picture, I'll go upload it on my profile picture and all of those things. But right now, you don't necessarily need to be changing your profile picture every day. Now, what is the psychology happening there? The user, or the what's it called? I said, the user. Actually, the user, which is Fiwa now, wants to show what is going on in her life every day. Right? And that's why you see that she's always going to go and change her profile pictures, right? So the designers at WhatsApp have understand, or have studied the people that are using their product, and they might have cited that kind of thing, that a lot of people love to change their stuff. Why can't we have a particular section of our application that help people to share what they are doing every day? Because people love that. You get, people want other people. There are some things, there are some chemicals that a designer must even understand. We have the oxytocin and some other chemicals, but I'm not going to be going there, so I will not go too much back and forth. Now, when it comes to experience, you don't just come with the experience, it's come true with the study of the user. So when the WhatsApp team now understand that most people always change their profile picture, why can't we have a platform or a page in our design that can help them to share their stuff for the period of maybe 24 hours? That should be enough, you get. And that's a very good development. And you know that right now, people use that particular product every time. There's no how you go, except you are someone that is very maybe, or the introverts, right? They don't like to show their stuff. Well, for people like me like this, we are always there putting stuff, showing stuff, what we heard, what we say, who we see, and all of that. Do you understand? So you can see that the first thing, this WhatsApp application, now, if I ask anybody in this class that what is the purpose of WhatsApp, what are you going to say? So let's ask, let me hear from my audience. I'll call names now, because there are some people that if I not call their name, they're not going to come out. So we're going to be talking with Kemi Raji. Hi, Kemi. Hi, Kemi. Kemi Raji, I want you to talk. I want to hear from you.
Hi, Fiwa. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. So tell me, if I ask you the question, what is the purpose of WhatsApp? What are you going to say?
You're asking the wrong person. Because
I'm asking the wrong person.
The only
you
thing
don't use WhatsApp.
The only thing I do with my WhatsApp is just to send messages. I don't know anything else to do with it. And I know people do the status updates and all those things. The first time I tried doing that, I spent 2 hours and I didn't get anywhere. So
all right. That's fine. That's one user, right? Let's have another person. Adebono. I don't know if I pronounce your name well. Adebono, hi. Hi, Adebono. Okay, let me go down because
can you hear me?
What did you, yeah, I can hear. What did you say?
I said I've been the one talking since I've been replying, but I've not been quiet anyways. But I use WhatsApp a lot, but it's the second thing after talking to God. It's WhatsApp. Because basically, and I do more uploading what I design and also sharing some thoughts about what I do. So basically, I have more views on my WhatsApp because I have well over 1,000 contacts. So I have more views on my WhatsApp, or like an average of 100, 150 at times. So it's really helpful. I've gotten referrals.
Exactly.
From there.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. So let's ask one more person. Let's have one person. Who should I call? Okay, let's have Uchenna. Uchenna, can you hear me? Okay, Kudirat. Let's have Kudirat. Sorry about that noise. Let's have Kudirat. Kudirat, I know that you have been attentive in this class, though. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Hello. All right. So in order for people not to take our time, now we need to understand that the main purpose of the main purpose of WhatsApp, or when WhatsApp arrived, the first thing that they were solving is actually the ability for someone to drop message for their friends easily. Right? That's like their first thing. That was the major thing, or the major reason they build the app. How can people drop message for their loved ones like very fast, and their loved one can also respond to them faster? So that was like the starting point for WhatsApp, right? So when just imagine that's like their major aim at the beginning. So when you downloaded the WhatsApp application, the first thing you are seeing there is maybe settings, right? We're going to see that you'll be like, anytime I open this application, it's always showing me setting. Like, I've done my setting is okay. Why is it that whenever I launch this particular application, the first thing I'm always seeing is settings? Like, the first thing I want to do is I want to drop message for someone, right? So if somebody built this application by having settings, like the first thing that the user is always saying, it's going to be frustrating to them, because the major reason a user will come to this particular application is majorly to drop a message for someone, right? Or maybe to go on their status and stuff like that. And now let's observe this particular thing. You can see that the first thing you come to see whenever you open your application is what? The chat. You're seeing the number of the person, or the name of the person, the last message of the person, the picture of the person, right? That's like the first thing you're going to see. And you can scroll to even give more information. And if you want to, maybe someone that you haven't talked to for a long time, you can come here and you set for the person name and you're able to send the person message. So this is a very good interface, because it's actually like unconsciously the user is finding this application useful even at their first approach with it. Do you get? So if a user now decided that, okay, I want to go and put pictures, or I want to go and upload my picture, then the person can go over to this place. Then the person can go over to call if the person wants to do that. So looking at this thing here, it was not just placed unconsciously, right? There was a research that have been done and the study of the people that will be using the application alongside the purpose of this application. And that's why the flow is like this. Do you understand? And that's why we're not seeing maybe profile picture as the first thing that is here. right? The first thing we see after launching our product or our application is actually what? The chat section. We want to be able to read, we want to be able to send message. Then if you are interested in status, you can go over to this, then you can go over to this if you want to use the call section. Do you get? So this is a very, very good flow. Now, like I said, product UI UX design is more about problem solving. And this the regular approach that most of the time we start with for basic people is actually the design thinking approach. Now, the design thinking approach doesn't mean the statement I made doesn't mean that senior product designers don't use this, but there are actually so many approaches you can use to solve a problem because it's actually not a linear method. You can start with this to this, like then you'll be like, oh, this one is not working. Can we move back? Can we go back? Can we go back to empathize? It's as if we do not get the definition of our research work. Can we go back to it? Can we make more calls and stuff like that? Right? So this is the design thinking approach or process. We have the empathize, we have the define, we have the hydrate, we have the prototype, and we have the test. So now let's get to understand about all of these things. So now the first thing is to identify all the necessary information about empathizing with users. Use the following W's. So when you want to empathize with your user, it's majorly you getting to know your user, right? Having the pain with your, like putting yourself in the shoe of the user or trying to understand their pain, trying to understand what their pain is like, putting yourself into a user scenario. Do you understand? That is like you empathizing with someone, and it's a very great skills because if you don't understand their problem, if you don't try to see what their problem is, if you are not interested and inclined now that with their problem, you might not be able to see what their problem looks like for you to even be able to help them. So now the first W is who is experiencing this problem, right? So when a task comes to you, when a customer, a client comes to you with their customer brief, the first thing you want to understand is who is experiencing this problem, what categories of people are experiencing this problem. The next thing is what is this problem itself, right? What exactly are we solving? What is bringing up this particular problem, right? Next thing you want to ask is when does this problem occur? I want to be sure that I'm not taking time. Please, what's the time? Okay, this is 12:03. I started by, I can't remember. All right, the next thing you want to do is please moderate.
Yes, hello, Fiwa.
If I'm taking over time, let me the next thing is when does the problem, right? Where is the problem? Hello, I think my network is messing up right now. Hello, can you hear me? Can you guys still hear me?
Yes, Fiwa, please go on.
Yes.
You have
All right.
you have about 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's run. Let's run now. So the next thing is you want to understand why does the problem exist. Another thing is that do not define the problem immediately. Listen to your users. Gather as many information first by getting some context on what their perceived problem are in the process. It is easy to get distracted by different problems they will share with you. We don't want to create many solutions to their many problems. As much as possible, we want a solution that fits their common problems. So as an intern or as a junior designer, like I can remember my first time as an intern, like I made this mistake over and over and over. Understanding, like you trying to get, like, they will tell you, go and listen to your users. Then when you are doing the interview, this one will say this one will say this, that one will say that one will say that, right? So at the end of the day, you are solving different problems. You to look at everything that everybody has said. And find find a common problem to every one of them, right? Then you can face it by solving it. Do not play that the definition.
Okay, I think Fiwa's network has gone off. Just wait for some minutes for that.
My network was off, guys. Apologies for that. I'm having another meeting right now, so that's why. So let's quickly run this particular meeting up so that we can get going. So let me present. All right, so do not always define your problem immediately. Try to get information from your users, right? And when they give you many problems, try to come up with a common solution that you can help them with. Another thing is define the real problem, right? What is really causing all of these things that you have been saying since, right? Define the real problem after gathering enough information. And that's why user research is very, very important. After gathering enough information, you can now define what the real problem is, right? The underlying insight on what they believe is their problem. Do you understand? Is what you should work on. You are helping your team to develop features based on insightful design process. Another thing is you need to start with sketch, right? Low fidelity before high fidelity. So after getting all of their problem, the next thing is like you want to start coming up with paper sketch. You want to start coming up with how will this thing look like? What is the user flow step? You have to come up with the user flow before, the major sketch. After coming up with the sketch, you can then move to your, design. You can move to your low fidelity and all of those things. Another thing is that you show it to your user what you have designed or developed. Receive feedback from them. Right? One thing that you must build as a designer is the ability to receive criticism or to receive feedback from people. When people are using your product, sometimes it can be frustrating that, wow, I spend a lot of time to come up with this thing and somebody said they don't understand. They actually don't understand, right? So you need to learn to listen to your user, receive feedback, right? And go to your drawing table to reiterate if there is a need for that. So lastly, it is important to accept criticism. The goal of the designer is to arrive at the best solution that most of the user understand, right? You cannot satisfy all of them, but at least most of your user must understand your product. The only way to achieve that is to show it to your user, gather as many feedback, suggestions, and possible directly from your users. So I'm going to be stopping here today. There are a lot to UI UX design, and that's why the bootcamp that this Spintify team are coming up with is good for you to invest in yourself, right? You cannot learn this thing in isolation. You need to learn from people that have been in the industry, people that are experiencing this thing real life to actually guide you. Do you understand? So that is all for today. If you have any question, I'll be glad to help. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, you're right. We can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'm done. So the moderator, I'm
okay.
So
yeah.
If you have a question, please feel free to ask the question before I jump to my next meeting.
Yes. So anyone that has questions, please, you can send in the chat box or just unmute and speak. Anyone, any question?
Okay. I don't think there's question.
I think there is any question. Hello?
Are you saying something?
Yeah, I said there's no question, but according to what our guest speaker said, so I think we can't learn everything in isolation. So I don't know, it's something about the upcoming bootcamp. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to relate that to we that came for this program, so we can know what to do next after this.
Okay. Yes, thank you for that. So We said that there's a Spintify product school that is starting sometime in June, July. And the link is what I've just shared in the chat box. So please just click on the link to register. Now, the reason for the product school is an expanded version of whatever we heard today, including the instructors. These instructors will also be in the product school, and to be more elaborate on each of these things that have been spoken about. And like she said, you can't get everything in this masterclass. This masterclass is just an introduction to what will be done in the product school. Now, when you sign up, a mail will be sent to you to give you more details about the product school, the days the school will be holding, and the platform you'll be onboarded, and every other thing you need to learn about it. So just click on the link and sign up, and then it will send you the necessary information.
Okay. No
Is that,
problem.
did you get that, somebody?
Yes, I got that.
Yes. So please, anyone that is interested to learn more, to get more understanding. We did a first session with Ayodeji and now Fiwa. We'll still be having another masterclass next week, Saturday, and to touch on some new topics also. So feel free to also join us next week, Saturday. A question from Anu Oloja says, what's your advice for a graphics designer who wants to go into UI UX? Fiwa, are you still there?
Yeah, so after this class, I'm going to leave because I have another class now. All right,
Okay,
so what is your advice, or what is my advice for a graphic designer? Okay, for a graphic designer, you actually have a good background already, right? So the only thing that you need to help yourself to understand, consciously tell yourself, is that UI UX is not about just the interface, right? Or how fine it is. It's about the process. So try to go and learn more about how to solve problems, right? Compared to the interface. And there are several rules on how to even design user interface that graphic designer, if you understand, if for UI UX design, you see that the typographies, the size of our typographies, all of them, there are certain way they look like, right? So you must be open to learning all of those things and not come with the mindset that I can design, because the way things are done here is quite different, or it's slightly different from the way the graphic design is being done. I was actually a graphic designer before I moved into UI UX design, before I moved into product design, right? So just be open-minded and be ready to learn more. That's just it. Do we get that?
Is there any other question? Yes, sir. Thank you, Fiwa.
All right. Bye, everyone. Please, I need to go now. Yeah,
okay,
bye.
please. Yes. All right. Okay, so in the absence of no questions, please sign up for the product school in the link below, and then we'll be having another masterclass again next week, Saturday. An email will be sent to you to join also by 10 a.m., right, through the same link, and we'll see you at the masterclass next week. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.